Hi everybody, I'm Nathan Robb from Crazy Amazing Designs. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us on this video. I got an email today from Lift at Passion City Church. They released their August pack, or August edition of the Lift Online Collective. In a video they talked about creating a culture of worship for kids and teens. What better way to do that than include a free download that any of you can get, which has 2 song multi-tracks of Don't Ever Stop and You Found Me. 2 theme packs which you can use with your children or students' church, and 2 motion videos for the songs to teach your team the motions at your church.
Get crazy here!
In this video, we are going to download the pack and put it into action. So, first of all, let's go hit download Lift resources from the email. So as you can see, it's going to take a little while to download. I'm going to delete this because I already have it downloaded. It's about 2 gigabytes. So we're just going to go over to my desktop where I've got it stored. Okay, so this is the file you get. There's 4 folders inside of it. There's one with talking about the overview, information, and permissions, what to do with it, what not to do with it, kind of stuff, talking about what's in it and how to use it. So the first folder is series art. Made, we got our fonts, the Photoshop files they include of the graphics. We've got an Instagram graphic, and then we've got the screen graphics, which is the same thing as the Photoshop files, but just JPEGs. And then in the next folder we've got seeds, which is the same kind of thing. We've got the Photoshop files of the seed folders, the seed graphics, the fruits of the Spirit. Cool. And then we've got an Instagram photo of this. It's just an Instagram size. And then we've got the screen graphics, which is the same thing as the Photoshop files we just looked at. Next up is the multi-track files for the songs. And you'll see in there there's like this ASD file. That's because I had this inside of Ableton. But there's different keys of the kids' arrangement of the songs. And then the motion videos.
Hey guys, these are the motions we use for Don't Ever Stop.
So that's the folder. So we're going to take and copy our multi-tracks folder into the location where all of our stem tracks are at. So this is my folder that I've got all of my multi-tracks in. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. We got different songs and different things, and down here are 02 music tracks. That's where these multi-tracks are located. So now we're going to go over to Ableton, open up Ableton Live Suite 10, and as you can see, all my multi-tracks are in here. So I'm just going to scroll all the way to the end and find a new spot to put a multi-track, and I'm going to make a locator somewhere that says "You Found Me," which is the name of the song. Okay, so now we need to grab our multi-tracks out of the collections bin, the places. So over here on the left side, you see packs, user, library, current project, and then you can select a folder on your computer. So for example, if I hit add folder and then I just select the desktop, the only thing accessible to, oh, there's a few folders it showed me, cool. So it shows you all the folders and like pictures and stuff and any media that's in there. And yeah, so in this Worship Essentials folder, in music, in stem tracks, that's where all my multi-tracks are at, but I have a direct link to there. So I'm just going to delete this desktop folder, remove that from the sidebar. Okay, so now if we click on stem tracks, we go up here to 02 music tracks, and we're going to find You Found Me, key of B, and we're going to look at these. So this click track mix down, the left side has the clicking cues and the right side has the music all compressed into a single track. But we're actually going to use these multi-track ones right here. So I'm going to click on clicking cue, click, and then I'm going to hit shift and click cues, and now I'm going to drag these over to this You Found Me that we made, and I'm going to go up here into click, and then I'm going to hit command, and then it'll put the second one in cues. So as you can see, every single track I've got like drums, electric guitars, and then extra for synths and everything else, piano, bass, acoustic guitar, clicking cues. I've got a spot for everything. So we're going to put all the stuff in its spots. Now, I want to note that if you put your tracks in here and like you put them all in there, but like one finishes like here and one finishes clear up here, then you need to go up into live preferences and then go down to record warp launch and make sure this auto warp long samples is off, because if it's on, it'll warp the samples and it'll make weird lengths and it won't match up. So you just want to make sure that's the case. So we'll drag in the bass because it's right here. We're going to put it all in this bar here, keep it all in the same. Acoustic. Okay, we got the acoustic guitar now. And drums. We got the drums. And now we're going to put everything else, I think, in our extras in the bottom here. So we got the effects that can go in extra. The vocals can go in extra. That's probably going to get muted. The synths can just go in its synth category. And then this last one can go just down here in an extra. Cool. So that's that. So we need to do a couple of things to this. We need to set the beats per minute. So if we get on the master here, I'm going to hide this. If we get on the master here, and then we find the beginning of our tracks, yes. Before here, we're going to set the beats per minute. So I'm going to set one. It's like an automation. This is the automation bar. So I'll set one in the beginning and the end, so that at the end it goes back to what it was. I'm going to go to Safari, go to the browser, and I'm going to type in "you found me" beats per minute, and that should pull up. Perfect. Okay, "you found me" songs, and we're going to click on this one from Passion, and we're just going to grab the beats per minute from that and use that for this 82 beats per minute. So we're going to grab this line here and change it to 82. Okay, perfect. So now we've changed the tempo to make sure the beats per minute is all the same. We're going to go to the top or the bottom, and we're going to click on the track, double click on one of the tracks, and we're going to click on it, make sure it's selected, and then go all the way to the bottom, or start at the bottom and go all the way to the top and hit shift click. And now we're going to warp all the tracks. So this will make it so if we change anything, all the tracks will change accordingly. So now that we've got them all warped, we've got our beats per minute set, we can click on it and play.
Intro. 2.
My eyes have seen the risen one, shining like the sun. He came to rescue me. I think those are the words. Anyways, it sounds pretty good. Okay, so this is awesome. We've got the ability to play back all the tracks and sing along. Now, we aren't quite ready for a performance yet. What's a worship service in 2018 without lyrics on the screen, right? So we're going to set up an awesome way to not have a lyric person sitting tapping the space bar, missing cues because they're singing. When you use MultiTracks or following any kind of pre-recorded track, it makes no sense to not animate things such as lyrics and lights, especially when playback is happening within Ableton Live 10. So let's go over to my second computer where ProPresenter 6 lives. I can say with confidence that this is the best, most stable worship presentation software out there. So if you're not familiar with ProPresenter 6, this is the basic interface of the software. You can click through the slides here. You can design your own slides inside of the software here. Over on the left side there's a library where you can type in songs. So like we're looking for "You Found Me." There we go, "You Found Me." Down here in my playlists, I have a folder for church, so every Sunday I'll set up the songs that I need for church. And I actually have a master playlist that I use for my Ableton project. So every single song I have tracks for inside of Ableton, I have lyrics for inside of ProPresenter, because these are all automatically triggered from MIDI notes inside of Live. So if we go over here in Ableton, we can go to our MultiTracks that we just put inside of the software. We're going to scroll up a bit, and we're going to see Lyric PP6. This is my lyric track. So we're just going to go and click on the left side and go all the way to the right, and right click and hit Insert MIDI Clip. So we're going to use this to create slides. So back into ProPresenter 6, on the other computer, and we're going to go to ProPresenter 6 Preferences, and we're going to go over here to Modules. So we're going to need the MIDI module to make this work. I think there's a couple of different modules you can purchase that comes with the MIDI module, but I just have the specific MIDI module. So we're going to go over to Communications, and you can see we're connected. In here is where you create your connection, but we're going to go to MIDI Setup, and we're going to make sure there's a 0 in here and autofill that. So now this shows us our MIDI notes that give us our things we want to do. So for example, F-1 selects the playlist, or F#-1 selects the playlist item. So we're going to go back over into Ableton, and we are going to find F-1. So go down to -1. Okay, F-1. We're going to create a MIDI note there. And if we look over here at C-2, if we go to the clear command, C-2, that clears everything. So a good rule of thumb is just to clear everything before you start. So as it scrolls through, we're going to have it clear everything, and then we're going to have it F-1 to select the playlist, and then F#-1 to select the playlist item. And then finally we're going to trigger slide to G-1. Make that to select to trigger the slide. So now we've cleared everything, we've selected the playlist, we've selected the playlist item, and now we're going to hit trigger the slide. So there's a few more things we need to do. You'll notice there's a bunch of numbers, 1 through 127 down here, and we're going to open that up, or if it's hidden, we're going to push this button and open this up. And this will give us our, not sure what it's called, but this will give us our numbers for this. So select F-1, select the playlist. So back over into ProPresenter, you see on the bottom left in the playlist, so the playlist number 1, so this would be playlist number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're going to select playlist number 1. So we're going to drag this all the way down to 1. And now playlist item, we're going to count off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm pretty sure it's, that one's 40, 41, 42, 43, 44. So we're going to change the second number to 44. Usually it's going to be like a normal number, like 2 or 3. So it's not going to be nearly as hard to find. Okay. And then the third thing is the slide. So we're going to do slide number 1. And I always set up a blank slide in the beginning so that you can automatically trigger slide in the beginning of the song to make sure you're on the right spot, and then it can just go into the triggering the second and third and fourth slide. So, okay, that looks like it's set up correctly, and now we can set up more slides. So we'll do number 2. Okay, so my trick is to copy this and paste it, and then change it to 3. Okay, now copy that one, paste it, change the next one to 4. That way you're moving them up 1 versus making a new one, dragging it all the way down to 5. Because that can be a pain. And if you can't quite get at it, then make this a bit bigger. And now that'll make it easier to, there you go, get number 5. Okay, so if we hit play, we're going to notice that's not going to work because we have to connect these two computers via the MIDI. We're going to go to the top right to the magnifying glass, and we're going to type in MIDI. The MIDI audio setup is going to come up. We're going to do that on both computers, the MIDI audio setup. We're going to click on Network. Okay. And Window, Show MIDI Studio if it's hidden. Network. And this is a stage computer. This is the front of house computer. So you can see it sees the stage, so we're going to connect to the stage, and on this one we're going to connect to front of house. Perfect. Okay, so once that connects, give it a couple seconds and it'll yell at you and say, you're connected. Perfect. Click out of that. So now start it, see what happens. Okay, so we cleared it. Cleared it. It found the playlist, it found the song, and it found the first slide. Sweet. Now if I scroll over a little bit, it'll find the second slide. Perfect. Okay. So now we got to turn the sound on a bit. We don't need to make these very big. I didn't realize they were so big. Okay, so my trick for setting this up, my second trick for setting this up, once you already set up one song, you can just go to that song that you set up. So for example, Whom Shall I Fear? I'm going to go over to this song that I've already set up, and I'm going to select all these notes, including all the stuff in the beginning here, and then I'm going to go back over to the song that I'm currently setting up, and I'm not going to have set that up, so I'm just going to delete all that. I'm going to click on the first bar, and then hit Command V to paste that. Okay, so you're thinking, well, that information is not correct. You're absolutely right. The beginning information to where the song goes is not correct. If we play this, it'll open up Whom Shall I Fear on this computer. So we can just change that though. Playlist number 1, song 44. Perfect. So you're thinking, why did you just copy all those over? Your MIDI note slides aren't going to be correct either. No, they're not going to be correct, but now we don't have to create all those notes. Ooh, there's a method to the madness. Okay, so now we're just going to move these. My eyes have seen the risen one, shining like the sun. He came to rescue me. So now it's a lot of seen the risen one, shining like the sun. He came to rescue me. The curse of sin and shame are done. Death was overcome the day he came for me. Now I have Okay, so I should have picked a song to copy the slides from, that there were enough slides. It looks like I knew I was going to need 25 slides, and I picked a song that only had 21. I could have done worse. I could have needed like 25 slides, and I could have picked a song with like 5 slides, you know. But I'm just going to have to create some new slides here. So I'm just going to copy the last slide. So that way I can just change the number by 1. So I put it on 22 from 21. It's a lot easier. And you hear all that on that last downbeat. I'm going to put another slide on that last downbeat. Number 25. I made that a blank slide in PurpleCenter. Me cuts off on that last slide. So that is how you set up automation for lyrics from Ableton to PurpleCenter 6. So now every time we play this song, the lyrics are going to be perfect. So that is the simplest way I have found, in some simple techniques to setting up lyrics from Ableton to trigger PurpleCenter. Super well. You can do it on the same computer if you would like. It's always best to have it on a second computer if that's possible for your setup. So now that we've got the lyrics set up, we can start working on lighting. So to do lighting, I am going to go into D-Pro, program that I'm using on my second computer, and I've actually got the lights behind me set up with the Ring Runoff D-Pro. Oh, lights went out. Doesn't look quite as good, but I can change the color. That's cool. Blue, green, red. I can change it pretty much to any color I want. Same color as the cross. The cross is DMXable, but I don't have it plugged in at the moment. The red looks pretty cool though. Oh yeah, and it can get way brighter. I know, I just blew out the inside of D Pro. I've got different cues set up. So I've got 5 lights that I'm going to use under this setup. And back there I've got 2. So I got 1 and 2 set up. So I can do one color and one green. So let's see here. This is a cool program, and let me run a little program that I've got from another song. So I'm not going to get into the whole writing MIDI notes for lighting in this video, but I do just want to show you that this is the program I use called D Pro, and you can very simply, it's the same way that I create. I'm just creating a MIDI file inside of Ableton that has lighting notes written in for lighting cues. So each one of these represents a note over here inside of D Pro. So now that we've finished setting up triggering our lyrics from in ProPresenter from Ableton, now we can start setting up our lighting triggers. So for lighting, I'm using a program on my second computer, my ProPresenter machine. It's called D Pro. It's a pretty cool program, and actually the lights behind me, I have them set up in this program. So I can change the colors. The red looks kind of cool. It looks like the cross. The cross is DMXable. It's a LED strip. I don't actually have it plugged in right now, so I can't use that, but I can change the color. Excuse me. I can change the color of the lights behind me, so that's kind of cool. So in the same way that the lyrics are triggered in ProPresenter through MIDI notes, that's exactly how the lighting is working also. I've got a lighting channel up here right above the lyrics actually. It's called DMX Simple because I've got a couple different setups of my lighting, and I'm creating files inside of Ableton based on my different setups. So I'm trying to do like a small, medium, and large setup with my lighting, so that way I can just turn off if I'm doing a large setup, I can turn off the small and medium, and that way only the large lighting notes will play. So that's kind of complicated, and I'm not going to get in this video into the entire setup. I'm going to scroll over here and find an example. So here's an example of a song I did. And if you look over on the program here on D Pro, you can see that these all represent different colors. So I've got it set up so that we could do all red, all green, all blue, all white, or all yellow. There's 5 lights in this example, but I can specifically make this one light red, this one light green, blue, white. I can change the specific color of the specific light, or I can just do all red, all green, for example. But this program here, as it runs, you can watch it. It's changing the different colors of the different lights. And this is all cut to the beat of the music. So that is pretty much how I set up lighting inside of D Pro for Ableton. So my goal is to have every single one of these songs to have all the multi-tracks for the song, and then have lyrics, and then a simple, medium, and a large setup for lighting. So the simple setup might be like the 5 lights sitting on the floor around the piano in more of an acoustic setting. And then the larger setup will be a complete stage lighting and decorative lighting, and then the cross. But as you've learned by this video, that is going to be a ton of work to get all of that set up. But hey, thanks so much for sticking with the Passion multi-track video. I've been so excited to share with you how to do all this and how I do all of this. If you have any questions about my setup or about how to do this in general, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comments below, and I'll do my best to get back to you answering your question, or maybe I'll even make a video specifically for you. So hey, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.